Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Afriza Arnanda from class PPI. 6. Everyday life in the Soviet Union, the shopping runaround. The author, Henrik Smith, was head of the New York Times official in the Moscow from 1971 to 1974. The following passage is adapted from Mr. Smith's books, The Russians, which was published in 1976 by Quadriga, the New York Times Books Company. 1. I had heard about customer shortage before going to Moscow, but only when they began to shop there did the Russian customers' problem really have meaning for me. Customer the words over with in the lines, but Soviet lines have a special quality of their own. Typically, the Soviet women spend 2 hours a day in line, 7 days a week. Personally, I have known of people who stood in line 19 minutes to buy for pineapple and 3 hours to buy their large head of cabbage. Only the cabbage were gone as they approached the front of the line. Lines can run from a few yards to nearly a mile. Some friend of ours watched a line of people in Moscow signing up to buy rug. The line lasted 2 days and nights and ran for across all through and apartment development. 2. In spite of all of this, the natural reaction of the Russian woman when she sees a line forming is to get in it immediately, even before she knows what is being sold. However, Soviet lines are more fluid than they ever. In most stores, for example, shopper must stand in not one but their line for any purchase. The first, to select a purchase and find out its price. The second, to pay a chair somewhere else in the store and get a receipt. And the third, to go pick up the purchase and turn in the receipt. 3. But in a dairy store and morning, I found out the game is both simpler and more complex than that. I went to buy some cheese, butter, and bologna sauce, which were in their separate department, each with in online 9 lines. For rather quickly thought I noticed in the I noticed that experience. 4. Rather quickly thought I noticed to experience software were skipping the first stage. They knew what most items cost, so they went directly to the chaser for their receipt. After studying process, I did that too. Then I went to the cheese line, the largest probability 20 people to get the wars over with first. I was in line less than a minute when the woman in front of me asked me to hold her please. She darted up the butter and milk line. The cheese line was moving so slowly that she got her butter and milk and returned before we had advanced their feet. I did it. I decided to take the rice too, and I got back with my butter while the cheese line was still inches along. 5. Then and suddenly occurred to me that all over the store, people were getting into line, holding place, lying, returning. Everyone was using the cheese line at home base. That was why it was barely moving. It kept expanding in the middle. So I got the man behind me to hold my place. And I went up to buy my bologna. Once again, it's worked. It took me 22 minutes to buy butter, sauce, and cheese, but instead of being furious, I felt as if I had built in the system. 6. This competitive shopping gives an atmosphere of tension to Russian life. People bigger into the store and bump into each other with space. Set in competitive expression, you have to understand that a keen gray-haired person that for as long we can remember, shopping has been a struggle, life is a struggle. 7. There is hardly any effective advertising to help shopper. Americans complain about the constant commercial in the United States, but they make reconsider in the we expose to the customer blackout in Russian. A typical Soviet and might be if you want to live to arrive old age and beautiful, modest. Tarok and Turple drink tea, most newspaper published without ads. The shopper has no handy yellow page or daily newspaper, supermarket or department store ads to help her decide where to shop. 8. Bereavement is widespread. 8. Bereavement is widespread low page. 1918. 8. Bereavement is widespread low page. $18 to $20 monthly. Select take a portion of attractive item and sell them directly to regular customers who have either left a bribe in advance or can be counted on to pay a high price on delivery, then to 15 rubles on a 16 ruble raincoat is standard. In 1976, the ruble was equivalent to $1.362. 9. So common is this practice in 9. So common is this practice that the Soviet press is always complaining about it. Does not do any good. Crocodile, the Soviet humor magazine. On Soviet department store explorer promoting some newly arrived item their customer in the leather good department. 500 import women's purse have been received. 450 of them have been bought by store exploits. 49 are under the counter and have been ordered in advance for friend. One purse is in the display windows. We invite you to visit the leader department to buy this purse. Thank you.